Well, I was raised in the church, went to church, Sunday school every Sunday, but it really didn't become really real to me until I was an adult. Like a lot of kids, I went away to college, got out of the habit of going to church. I was challenged with a lot of different ideas. A lot of really smart people were atheists, a lot of really smart people were Christians, and I kind of got apathetic about it, to be honest with you, and I was more focused on other things. It wasn't until my career change where I realized God was speaking quite loudly to me that I was doing the wrong thing, that I actually started listening. And then teaching and having my own kids really focused me on what did I really believe and what did I really want to be doing in my life. And that's when God truly became real to me.
So how is God real to me? God is real to me by the things he's put around me, so the people and the things he's done for me. Growing up, I didn't have a great home life. Dad was gambling. Mom really don't want to have a relationship with me. So I leaned on my church and my friends at church to get me through those tough times. They were there for me when I needed someone to confide in. They gave me godly advice. So without that church, without my family, my church family, I probably would have gone down a path that would have been much easier to do instead of actually trying to do the right thing, which is more challenging and way more difficult, but it's way more rewarding in the end. So God used the people around me to guide me and to keep my faith strong.
I stay firm in my faith by staying plugged into a local church community, and I've done that ever since I came to know the Lord when I was a junior high student. So by being connected to a church community, by having that fellowship with other people, time in the Word and in prayer is essential for that. For sure. But also, one of the ways that I personally really feel like I grow in my faith is by serving in the community, both locally and globally. And so by going, I volunteer locally with Maple Valley Church Youth Group, and I've been doing that for years. I volunteered at a youth group when I was away at college, so I would really encourage you guys to do that.
God is real to me through creation. I mean, it's pretty amazing. The universe we live in, the planet we live on, the solar system, it's mind-blowing. So God is real to me in those ways. The relationships that I've built and seeing the way God has worked in those relationships, the promises that have been made in His Word that have come true in my life, and then obviously just through the Word of God, it says in it that it is alive and is active, and so it's real to me in those ways.
When I graduated from here, I feel like it was the most exciting and also the hardest time of my entire life. And it's that moment when you feel like you're losing everything and gaining everything all at once, but the most important thing to me was holding on to my faith. And that proved to be a lot harder than I thought, but was able to do that by really just diving into a new home church, digging into a small group, and continuing to pray through my trials. Kind of every piece of your story up to this point has been planned for you. And I think it's easy to hold on to faithfulness because we know what God's presence feels like in our day-to-day life, because not that much has changed. And when you graduate and everything changes, you become almost afraid of how to move forward or what you're supposed to do. Kind of like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And for me, holding on to my faith meant that the weight of the world wasn't on my shoulders, it was on His. It was that kind of like calming breath and discerning voice and sense of purpose in the midst of what would otherwise be really a transitional pain or a growing pain. And so I think God is real to me because of all those things and those little moments when it is that breath of fresh air, when it is that purpose beyond pain, when it is a feeling of calm in the midst of all this transition. That is where God's real. And so if we can hold on to that in the midst of everything else, that's where you're supposed to be. You're here with the people that you are for a purpose. And if you can invite Him into that too, that's all the better. So happy graduation.